Levinson, Mayor, Council. First thing I'm going to do is read part of what the agenda item or supporting agenda item called the agenda report you all received. It says summary on September 19, 2017, the City Council approved a resolution of intention to amend specified sections of Title 13 and 14 of the Fullerton Municipal Code regarding maximum floor area allowances per occupant for assembly areas without fixed seats. I want to add to that or make the note that this will greatly increase the number of patrons in these establishments. That's a given if this passes. Then it goes on to state, and this is from the Community Development Department, doesn't say from whom, the physical impact. It says there is no physical impact associated with this action. Later on, I'm going to beg to differ. In fact, members of the Downtown Bar Association and Restaurant Association allege that this change will help to alleviate some of the negative behavior in the downtown area caused by certain patrons. It goes on to say on the discussion, the 2007 reduction in maximum allowed occupancy was associated with a larger study completed by the City and Downtown Working Group in September 2006. Although not specifically a part of the recommendations from the Downtown Working Group, the building and fire code occupancy tables were amended around that time period as a complementary action to attempt to curtail negative behaviors resulting from the late night downtown bar restaurant activity. I'd like to add to that comment that this late night bar related negative behaviors was the major factor. Net costs increased over $1 million a year based on the necessary additional police activity and its cost over the added tax revenue to the city from these bars. These numbers are based on a city study on the impact of the bars on Fullerton and its taxpayers that was done quite a while ago. Concluding remarks. We had a study that proved expanding bar service in Fullerton years ago resulted in more than $1 million yearly increase in costs to the city taxpayers. The reason for these stricter occupancy codes was to help address this criminal and fiscal problem caused by some patrons of these bars, as documented by the city to our 5 council members. 2, now the Bar Association claims, without any evidence whatsoever, that increasing the number of bar patrons at every time will actually reduce crime. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Anybody with any common sense would see that that makes no sense. 3, and the city staff states, ignoring known facts, that this will have no fiscal impact. As I have stated, your own studies have shown that it has a great impact, and by increasing the number of patrons, it's only going to have a bigger impact. Now, this is what I propose. I propose that based on all the above, especially the Bar Association claim that this will reduce crime and therefore reduce police costs, that they, as part of this ordinance, are required to pay for any additional police costs that results from these changes. Finally, I state, as it is currently written, this ordinance needs to be voted down. To not to vote this down, once again, this council will be clearly demonstrating that the city council is corrupt and cares very little for both the safety and the pocketbooks of Fullertonians, and are just doing this for the special interests in our city. Thank you very much.
You know, politics is a really ugly business, and growing up I was fascinated by how some people got so powerful so quickly and realized how dirty they are and how dirty their families were. And when you think about how, like, for example, Kennedy's, they got their money from liquor. Liquor's a dirty business, folks. It's a really dirty business, and it ruins lives, it kills people, it ruins children, it ruins wives, it ruins husbands, it ruins communities. This country is in the grip of an alcoholic epidemic, the likes of which we've never seen since Prohibition. It's just masked. You go to a grocery store and the center aisle is booze. You go downtown, they're bars. All of the people coming into this community on the weekends are not the kind of people that I personally would like to see coming into this community. The people that are coming in here looking for a good time. They're looking to get drunk. They're looking to get lucky. Some of them are looking to steal things. Some of them are looking to rape. Some of them are looking for just whatever gets them off. I don't know why we continue to increase the Gauss level on the magnet by building these liquor mafiosos a parking structure for their patrons, and we don't charge for them to park in it. I don't know why we handed out liquor licenses like lollipops on Halloween years ago. And I don't know why, in lieu of these terrorist attacks, how we're going to be willing to increase the density in these death traps. The bottom line is, these people have done enough damage to this community. Young lives are being ruined on a nightly basis. Drunk driving is par for the course. No one coming out of those places would probably pass a breathalyzer at about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. My wife and I have tried to go down there just to attempt to try to partake in some of the local fare, and it's a hazard. I will never bring my wife downtown again. It's not safe. What you folks are doing here is showing your hand pretty clearly. You work for them because you don't work for the community. My son attends Fullerton High School, and he went to a football game about a week ago. And in light of what just happened in Vegas, I kind of wonder how long it would take for the police to show up from downtown when something like that happened over at maybe the stadium, when all the kids were playing on the field and their parents were in the bleachers and maybe some psychotic nutcase was up on the roof. I know how long it takes for the police to show up when you've got someone at your house and you call them and you've got descriptions. And I can't personally attest because I've never been robbed, but I know plenty of people that have had people on their property, and the response time is ridiculous. So I know that when they're downtown tied up, looking over all the scenery, enjoying the moment and all the attention, because let's face it, the ladies love a man in a uniform, and it's quite an adrenaline rush for some of these guys to be down there and, just lapping it all up. All the resources for law enforcement are tied up downtown on the weekend, so that leaves the other 145,672 of us at the mercy of a bunch of criminals. So why would you increase the amount of people that have access to the tap in these joints? Now, this brings another point up, and this isn't going to be a fun thing to entertain, but if you get around a lot to some places that serve a lot of alcohol, a lot of these places have counters on the taps. How many drinks are being served? What kind of audits are we doing of these people's books? How much sales taxes are being unreported from these organizations? I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just simply throwing a question out, because there's a tremendous incentive to underreport when you're running a cash business. And let's face it, the temptation is there, and it's probably happening. In my opinion, it's probably happening a lot more than it should be. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take people off the streets who can't get drunker than they already are and get them inside so they can have a shot or another beer or whatever. We're going to pack these people in here at maximum density and have them have access to what they shouldn't have any more of to begin with. That's probably why they're outside or they got there too late. The drunk driving is off the charts. How many people have been killed in this community by drunk driving? How many problems do we have with our law enforcement downtown? And I have to tell you, I don't understand how this community with so many churches are silent on what goes on down there on the weekends. Because to be honest with you, I have 4 kids, and it breaks my heart to see what these young people have to look forward to and how they conduct themselves and how they behave and the decisions that are being made. Because the minute they get in one of these black and whites, their life has changed forever. Or if they kill someone and they're drunk, it's changed forever. Vote this thing down. We got too many bars. Stop giving away the farm. Thank you.
Hi, Liz Savage again, resident Fullerton. The reason why I'm up here for this one is basically